Hello, everybody. I'm Miss Trish. I'm one of the RE teachers for UU St. Petersburg, and I'm here with the lesson for the Unicorns group for August the 9th, 2020. And I'm going to light our chalice. I light this chalice to remind us that even though we're separated by distance, we're connected by heart, and we still value each other, love each other, and support each other. And we hold all of our beliefs in our hearts, and we do our best to live up to them. I'm going to put the chalice aside and start the lesson. Today's lesson is called The Outward Journey, and it's about the practice of pilgrimage. What is pilgrimage? Pilgrimage is taking a special journey, either a real journey, walking or driving or taking a boat, a train, a bus, or some other way, to get to a special place with a special meaning. But sometimes we can take a pilgrimage without leaving our chairs. We can use our mind to take us where we want to go and find meaning that way. So a lot of times when people go on a walking pilgrimage, they take something like this, which is, this is my shaft or walking stick. And it's the kind they used to use when shepherds had a bunch of sheep they had to keep together, and they'd use this hook to pull the sheep back into the group. I'm going to set that aside and get started. So, how are we a people of journey? Well, we're going to explore that question today. And when people are on a journey with their walking stick, like the one I just showed you, sometimes they can feel like Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings. He carried a staff. So did Moses in the Bible. And who else? Yoda in Star Wars. He had a staff to take on his journeys. And even Harry Potter took a journey. He might not have had a staff, but his journey, like the others that I mentioned, they're called a hero's journey, where they start from where they are, they go out into the world or somewhere, and they come back knowing more of who they are, and they see their place in the world better and understand life better. I have 3 stories for you today that are about a child's hero's journey. I'm going to retell them. You can check the books out at the library if you like. They're written by Aaron Becker, and they're called Journey, Quest, and Return. So you know what a journey is. A quest is where you're looking for something, and you know what return is. So you can either just close your eyes and visualize as I tell the story, or you can pause the video and go get yourself some drawing materials, and you can draw pictures and make your own illustrations of this story. So get comfortable, and I'll get the story ready. Imagine a beautiful kingdom. It has turrets with flags flying on top, and kites, and drawbridges, and high windows, and gold domes. It's really quite beautiful. It looks like it was built a long time ago. Now there's a little girl in this story. I don't know her name. She's out riding around, and she sees some friends, but she's not playing with them. She's sitting all alone in front of her house, and she's got her red scooter In the house, her mom is busy making dinner and talking on the phone at the same time. She doesn't have time for the little girl. I think the little girl feels pretty sad about this. So she has to think of what can she do to keep herself occupied. So she gets her kite and she goes in to see if her dad will play with her and the kite. This is a beautiful red kite with a long tail. But her dad is working on the computer. And he says, I'm sorry, I can't play with you now. I have to work. You're a big girl. Entertain yourself. So the little girl goes into her sister. Her sister's sitting on the couch and she's looking at her iPad and she's very busy with it. And the little girl has her ball and she says, will you come and play with me? And her sister said, go away, I'm busy. So the little girl goes into her bedroom and she sits on the bed and she feels sad. And the cat comes in, but the cat doesn't want to play. The cat leaves. So the little girl gets her red crayon and a bunch of paper and she starts to draw. What can she draw? Well, she draws a big doorway. My goodness, she draws it right on the wall. And then she goes through the doorway. I wonder what is on the other side. On the other side is an old forest with big trees, and it's dark in that forest. But as she looks around, she sees lights hung in the trees and beautiful Chinese lanterns, and it starts to look like a friendlier place. And she can see a pathway. Maybe it's a sidewalk. So she decides she'll go in there and see where it leads. And she starts walking through the trees and she comes to a little river. And there's a dock out on the river. And she does something very strange. She takes her red crayon and she starts to draw on the water. What could she draw on the water? It's a boat. She colors the boat in and she hops in to see where it will take her on the river. The boat takes her through the forest with the hanging lanterns all the way to the castle with its drawbridge. It takes her under the bridge. And then she follows the waterway, which takes her up into the castle, sort of like a Disney ride. And people are saying hello. Men in uniforms are saying hello. And then her boat gets to a place where the waterway ends and turns into a waterfall. And it goes over the waterfall and she goes down, down. So she grabs her red crayon and she starts to draw. What could she draw here? Something round. What is it? It's a balloon. She hops into the basket of the balloon and it takes her up into the sky where she can see other vehicles up in the sky. Strange looking vehicles with paddle wheels and balloon tops. And there are people in these vehicles. What are they doing? One of them has a big net and it's trying to catch a beautiful bird. She keeps flying in her balloon and she flies over bridges to strange looking platforms with wheels and statues. And she comes to a tower. She gets out of the balloon and goes up the tower. And there are two guards on duty. And it sort of looks like a Chinese tower. They have the beautiful purple bird that has been captured. And now it's been put into a cage. She grabs the cage and she takes off with it. What is she going to do? She finds a platform and she sets the purple bird free. But the guards come and they grab her by the arm. Perhaps they're going to punish her. Yes, they put her in the bird's cage and they hang her from a platform. She's suspended in space, hanging in a bird's cage. What will she do next? She's trying to climb out. And here comes the purple bird, and it's got her crayon. She grabs the red crayon, and with the purple bird on her shoulder, she begins to draw. What will she draw now? It looks like a big rectangle. The bird is watching, and she's looking down at the courtyard. She's outside of her cage. She has drawn a magic carpet, and she and the bird are flying past the towers and the torrents, and it looks like they're going to escape into the starry night. Oh, it's beautiful out there. But where will they go? She has the bird to guide her. It guides her to a tree with a door. The door is illuminated so she can see it in the dark. It's purple like the bird. She opens the door and the bird guides her through the door. Oh my goodness, what will she find inside? She finds a boy, and the boy has the purple crayon. Maybe he drew the bird because the bird goes over and sits up on his arm. He's got his purple crayon and she has her red one, and they both draw hoops. She has a red hoop and he has a purple hoop, and they draw a bicycle and the hoops become the wheels. And so they will go off next. Where will they go? Let's see. This next part of their journey is called the quest. I see the little girl and the boy with the purple bird. They're sitting on a high cliff looking out. Now, they've run somewhere and they're standing under a beautiful bridge, and it's raining. Oh, they've encountered someone who looks like a wizard. It's an old man, and he gives them a piece of paper rolled up like an ancient script, and it's telling them what they must do next. They go to big, beautiful, ornate double doors. The purple bird is with them, and they take their crayons and they run through. It looks like they're at the river by the castle, and those strange vehicles up in the sky are up there. Maybe they're looking for them. And the boy and girl are looking at this script. It looks like a map, and they're pointing to places on the map. They must go looking for something. The purple bird is going to help them. They go by the river and up a rock, and they're using their crayons to draw something. They're drawing flippers and masks so that they can go underwater, and they see a giant purple octopus or a squid, and they're going down to something that looks like an ancient open building, and there's an altar there, and people are following them, and they take their map and off they go. They land on an island and they get their crayons busy again, and they're drawing something. What could this be? The little girl with her red crayon, the boy with his purple crayon. They have drawn an elephant, a purple elephant with a red umbrella on top, and it's taking them to some ancient ruins. and they follow the trail to a high suspension bridge hanging over a body of water where it leads them to something that looks like a lighthouse. When they get to the other side, the purple bird is there with them. It doesn't look like there's much there, so they take their crayons and they start to draw again. And this time, they draw a swing, and the purple bird takes the ends of the swing, but now the bird looks like it's a dragonfly and flies them over the mountains to something that looks like a temple and takes them to the very top of the temple. They've still got the map or the scroll, but here come the soldiers on those flying machines. They're after them. Oh, do they capture them? Oh my goodness, they're flying through the air. But they have drawn themselves a rainbow to escape. And the purple bird is at the head of the rainbow, now with a lot of different crayons. And they get on the rainbow and they slide down it and they land in a big boat. But it looks like there are soldiers on the boat. How will they escape? Somehow they got away from the soldiers. And on the boat, they've got their elephant with the umbrella on top. And I see the beautiful rainbow. And they are back at the castle with a stairway. And I see the waterfall. And I see the bird up in the air. And there's the door again. And I see someone, I think it's the old wizard. And he's there with the bird. The bird seems to be a magic bird. And it takes them through an archway. And there's the rainbow. And I see tall, tall buildings. I wonder what they're going to look for next. Now it's autumn. That's like fall. And I can see the castle and the beautiful rainbow and the little girl. And they are on the return part of their journey. The moon is high up in the sky over the castle's towers and torrents. And now the purple bird has turned into a hippogriff. And it flies them to a place where they're going to, oh, what are they going to do here? Hold on, let's see, what are they going to do? Back at the little girl's house, her dad sees the kite on the floor and wonders what happened to the little girl. So he goes looking for her, and he finds the doorway that she drew into the wall. He walks through it, and he finds the enchanted forest. And he finds the river, and there's a boat on the river. So he gets on the boat. He wants to find his little girl. The boat takes him to the castle. And it's nighttime there, and he's looking all around for his little girl. Where can she be? He runs up the stairway. He sees the wizard and the little boy and the little girl. And the dad talks to the wizard. Oh, he's not a wizard after all. He's a king. He's got a crown on his head. And they help him to get back on his throne. And he also has a crayon. His crayon looks like it's gold colored. And now the soldiers come, and they're trying to get him and drag him off of the throne. But they're using their crayons to escape. And now I see that the king has drawn crowns for the little boy and the little girl. And the dad is still there with them. And they hop on the purple It's a hippogriff now. It's no longer just a bird. And the dad and the little girl and the little boy fly high up into the sky over the castle. I don't see the king, so he must still be down there. Oh, suddenly they fall. Oh, the soldiers must have come because I see the dad has the little girl by the hand and they fell down. And now they're underwater. Oh my goodness. And it's just the dad and the little girl. And the little girl takes her crayon and she draws something red. It's a submarine. Now the dad and the little girl are in a submarine and they're trying to escape that way. And they take the submarine into, oh, it looks like an underwater cave. Oh my goodness. It's dark in there and it's kind of scary. But now the sun is coming up and there are pictures on the wall. Maybe someone else had a crayon. And I can see the mouth of the cave and they start walking towards it. And the dad and the bird and the crayons, they start drawing. And the dad draws something. Oh, it looks like a cage that opens up. And the dad and the little girl and the bird are in it. And they go. Where is this that they have gone? My goodness. The bird has gotten very big all of a sudden. The cage exploded and everyone is free now. And now they're back with the king. The king is in the cave now and I see the purple bird flying away with a cage in its claws. And there's something else purple, like maybe a dragon in the water just outside the cage. And there's a doorway in the rock. The little girl is so happy to see her father. She gives him a big hug. And the little boy with the crown on his head takes the hand of the king who has a crown on his head. And suddenly they grab the kite, the dad and the little girl. They are transported back to the city, back to the place where they live. And now the little girl and her dad are holding hands and they're back together again. I'm sure they both discovered something about themselves. Have you ever been on a journey, either in your mind or a real journey, where you discovered something about yourself? And when you got back, you understood life a little differently, or the world looked a little different to you? Take a minute to think about that. The little girl's adventure was pretty extraordinary, and parts of it were true to life and parts of it were really fantasy. But it came out of her loneliness, which she turned into creativity. And you can use your boredom or loneliness to turn into creativity also, and also as a way to explore your inner world and your outer world. So now we're going to do a meditation. You can put your drawing materials aside if you had them, and if you didn't, get comfortable and get ready for the meditation. I'm going to grab my chime. I'll ring the chime 3 times to get us in the right mood for a meditation. So get comfortable. Listen for the sound to disappear. You can close your eyes, or you can look down at your knees. But it's time to leave the outside world alone for a few minutes. and go inside. You don't need to concentrate, just make your gaze very soft or close your eyes. Have you ever been on a train trip? Do you remember how it felt? How the train rocks back and forth? Imagine now that you're seated by the window on a long, beautiful train. It's the old-fashioned kind that has a steam engine and a whistle. Now, this train's not going anywhere in particular. It's just rolling along, and you're just sitting there with your friends and your loved ones, but they're all asleep. Can you hear the train on the tracks? Can you hear the soft whistle blow? Can you feel the train rock back and forth, side to side, as it passes through the beautiful countryside, and the images fly by your window? As you look out and see houses, buildings, animals, people, lakes, rivers, and trees, they are like your thoughts, and they just fly by. You can take a moment to see these in your mind. Now imagine that your breath is going in and out with the rocking of the train. Your meditation is like the train, and the scenery outside the windows is like your thoughts. As you ride the train, let your breath go back and forth with the rocking of the train, and let your thoughts fly by like the scenery outside your window, and think, how nice, I see my thoughts just like looking through a window, and they pass right by. Then you can return back to the room, and if you need a couple more minutes to visualize or to return to the room, you can pause the video. But I'm going to move on and show you our activity. If you remember, in the enchanted forest the little girl found as she went through the door, she saw lanterns hanging from the trees. This is a paper Chinese lantern that you can make really easily. All you need is a piece of construction paper or copy paper if you're going to color on it and decorate it yourself. So you fold the paper in half, like a hot dog, not like a hamburger. So the long way, so you'll have plenty to cut. And you cut the paper, but you leave about a half an inch that you don't cut. So you start at the fold and you cut up towards the raw edges, leaving about a half an inch not cut. Then you open it up and fold it around so it starts to look like a lantern, and you staple it where the edges come together. See if I can find my staple. Right here, my edges came together and I stapled it. And then you take a strip of paper. I cut this strip off of the big piece before I started cutting the slats, and you make the handle. And now you've got a Chinese lantern. And if you have different colors, you can make yellow and blue and green and hang these in your room, and they look really cool. And if you have an LED candle, you could put these on top of it to kind of light it up. Doesn't quite work with my chalice, but you get the idea of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to extinguish our chalice now. And as I extinguish this chalice, I do it with love in my heart for all of you. And I want you to know that I miss you, and I hope to see you soon. And Have fun with your inward and outward journey and with your crafts. And now the chalice is off, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.